for 8 days, 8 working days. Now I'm moving on to Excel sheet. A course material will be available. As I finish the class, I'll prepare the content and keep it ready for publishing after modification, etc. And those will be given at the end of 8 hours, not immediately. Course content will not be available every day, right? There are a lot of exercises that you can do with Excel sheet. I'll try my best to give some of the labs. You can do it, practice it at your place. Right? I may not be able to give you the data because certain data are all proprietary data. So I cannot share the data with you, but I can give a logic what we need to do. So with this, we'll start our Excel sheet. So right now, I hope you are able to see the Excel sheet. Please raise your hand if you are able to see the Excel sheet. I just opened the Excel sheet. From, as usual, start. I am using Windows 7, Microsoft Office Excel. So with Microsoft Office Excel, I am just opening the Excel sheet. So in this Excel sheet, of course, if you go through the menu, the first menu is you can see the right hand side, the last few documents that I opened and then kept it. Right? I can create a new file. I can do a save. I can do a print. Right? I can prepare certain properties, etc. I can restrict permissions. Who can access this sheet? Who cannot access? I can give those information as well. I can set all those. Then this has a version control as well. That is where you can see mark as final, etc. This is a version control. These are all new features of Excel 2007. This is available in 2013 as well, but it is not available in the previous version of Excel. Right? I can publish it directly from here. So this is my file menu. From Office 2007, the entire structure of Excel is changed. So here everything is driven through the icons. Usually it will go through these menus, and then from menu we will have a drop down as you see it in the file icons. From there we will select. 2007 onwards it's all icon driven. So for anything that you want to do, you have to go through the icon and then select that information. So we will see most of the icons that you see. So we have home. In home, these are all the icons available. I have a cut and paste, font selection, alignment, numbering, style, cell, how to manage the styles, how to edit the content. So these are all filters, everything available over here. This is under home. Insert, I can insert pivot table, I can insert a normal table. Table means rows and columns. I make it as a rows and columns. Right? Picture, clip art, that means I can insert a picture into Excel sheet. I can clip art means taking certain information from certain document and then put it back here. I can draw something, shapes are there. I can do a flow chart. I can do anything I like over Excel sheet as well. I don't need a separate Visio for drawing a flow chart. I can do it through this as well. Smart art, you can manage your own graphics for presentation, better presentation, I can do that as well. So this is related to charts, links, linking to the websites, linking to some of the important topics that you are taken a reference from external party. You want to pass that reference in your document, you can use the hyperlink. So that when the user clicks on that link, it will take to the browser and then goes to that particular reference document you have made. Word art, text boxes, etc. These are also available. Page layouts. This is for printing as well as your screen. Right? Page layouts. You can decide the page layouts. The theme that you want to give for your page. Theme is the background basically. And the font structures, etc. Page setup. Landscape. You want to keep your files or you want to keep it in the normal mode, etc. All this you can set it over here. And then how you want to fit the content of the page into a single sheet. I have more than one page content, but I want to squeeze it and put it into the single sheet. Automatically it does it by putting the cell scale to fit. Sheet options, how you want to view the sheet. Arranging, how you want to arrange your entire windows. I can have multiple sheets opened in my screen, multiple Excel, and then I can arrange those Excel as well. That is also possible. So these are all some of the features available under page layout. I may not go to each and every feature, but if you want any feature to be explained in details, please feel free to put that as a part of question or as part of email, as you feel wish. Next, formulas. There are so many things that you have. So these are all the formulas grouped. All financial formulas are grouped over here. All logical formulas are grouped over here. All string manipulations are grouped over here, like concatenation, etc. Date and time, all date and time functions are grouped over here. All your grammar, I call it a spelling, lookup and reference, as grouped over here. Mathematical operations are grouped. All other functions which is used exclusively by like VLOOKUP, etc. are grouped into this more functions. So this is the grouping of my functional library. All pre-created functions, excellent help is available. You have to, of course, Google is there always to take the reference from the Google as well. Right? So I can manage the names, that is who can manage what, how we want to, that is user login credentials also. To some extent I can manage it over here. Then I have a auditing. Auditing is basically for the purpose of process control. A document, I have a document, I am sending the document to you. You are reviewing the document and putting a corrections over there. So it is not erased and then changed, but you are tracking the changes. I can track those changes as well. So I can put an arrow, I can remove an arrow, etc. so that you can hint that these are all the places that I have reviewed, these are all the places there is a correction, and if I accept it, I say accept, every changes will get into place. So you can do that way as well. Right? For macros you can use watch. So we can use for macros, watch window, it is like a debugging. We can debug the code that we are writing. So in olden days we had a lot of viruses in Excel sheet. I hope you might have remembered, you type something, it will erase that thing automatically. You type A, all A's will be removed. So like that I can create some macros. Very interesting thing, especially if you are a fresher and you have energy to do something different, this will help you. So we'll see that as well. Right? So calculate now, calculate the sheet, all those, calculate is for total, sum, etc. All this, now we are into data menu. All the data's related activities can be done. Grouping of data, sorting of data, validating the correctness of the data, filtering the data, grouping the data, subtotaling the data. All this can be, subtotal is another important feature which is used by most of the people. Grouping and subtotal is a very, very important feature, and you can do a lot of wonders using that feature, especially when it comes to the graphs and charts. Right? Then this is a new review is a new component of 2007 onwards. So review sheet is available. You can do the spelling check, you can do the corrections, you can put a comment, you can do whatever you want to do in that place. Right? So finally we have a view. View is what is the type of view, how you want to squeeze your windows. Multiple worksheets, I want to group it together, all those things I can do it over here as well. So these are all the menu structures. Please remember, in the previous versions of Excel sheet, it is not an image driven, whereas in the 2007 onwards, everything is image driven. With this, it's a basics to the Excel sheet. We first try to create something and then try to save it. Understand this cells and other stuffs. Before I get into that, let me answer some of the questions raised. Can we make alarm like to inform string as the time and date comes? So what I understand from this question is, can I, based on time and function with the current time and function, can I create alarm clock kind of a thing? It is possible. You need to do a VB scripting, but Excel sheet remains, it has to be always open for doing that validation. Generally it is not done. So we have a calendar options, etc., which you can use, not using this Excel sheet. We have, of course, since we have a VB script can you from as a coding, you can do anything as you wish. Kindly provide more information on macro when you begin this topic. I want to learn more macros. Thanks in advance. Macro will be, I predict that it will be a 5th day's topic. 5, 6, 2 days I'll be continuing with macros. If required, I may take a 7th day as well. So I hope it will be starting on 5th day. But you have to keep a tab on 4th day topic, because 4th day topic exactly decides when I will start the macro, not before 4 days, right? Particular one file mentions as corrupted, how to recover it and data in it. It's right now as a Excel sheet, the file open has a auto recovery option. So this opening of file, it has an auto recovery option. If you are not able to recover from this, you cannot do anything on that. So this file by automatically corrects it. If it is a version related, compatibility related issues, he will by default correct it on his own. But if it is not created in an XLS format, you say for example, I am creating it in a ORG format and trying to open it in the Excel file, it may not be able to open that. You cannot say it is corrupted as well. So that is not possible. Right? I hope that answers some of the questions that you have asked. So now I'm moving on to the Excel, how the Excel sheet is managed by internal structure of Excel sheet, because that's very important from the point of object-oriented programming, I call it as. Please note, there is a question. I have a little experience in Excel as of now. I am attending this workshop but do plan to teach Excel basics somewhere in the future. Please note this particular topic that we are covering in 8 hours, it includes basics. Basics doesn't require more than 2 hours of time. That is why we are covering advanced as well in this. Right? I may be going slightly faster on basics, but repeated practice will help you on that. Right. So some more, any other questions, I will answer it a little later. Now we are into understanding the Excel objects. The entire Excel sheet, if you understand, it is all driven by so-called objects. The Excel sheet itself is an object. Excel.application is what we call it as. I hope you all understand that is called object-oriented programming. Because that is the base. In today's technology, anything that you see, it is all programmed. Excel sheet is programmed by somebody. So that Excel sheet, when they program it, they use the top concept called object-oriented programming. Even though you are not a developer, you may not have an IT background, it doesn't matter. You just understand certain keywords that will help you to understand the advanced topics in the later date. Right? It is not meant for IT professionals as such. So this object-oriented programming is all about, just give an example of that. So we are all attending now, there are people, each one of us are attending, and you are all in front of you, there is a system in front of you. You call it as monitor, you call it as a laptop screen. So each one has their own machine in front of you. Some people might be attending it through iPad, I don't know. So now you as a person we call it as an object. Myself, yourself, we are all called human as an object, human being. So I am grouping this now, human being. All of us, we call it as human being. That human being means all of us are into that. When I say laptop, all laptops comes into that group. Laptop cannot be equal to human being. Human being is different group, laptop is different group. Like that, in Excel sheet, Word document is two different products. Excel sheet is one object, Word document is one object. You cannot replace Excel sheet with Word. You cannot replace Word with Excel. That is the first understanding. So everything is a group together. All plants is a plant as an object. Then we name the plant differently. Right? We give different names to different plants. That is a property called name. So like that, if you see it in Excel sheet, there are cells. You can see these are all cells. A, B, C. This A, B, C, I cannot rename this. These are all fixed. I cannot change this name. I cannot change this B. And how many rows I can go? It is unlimited. You can go to any number of columns. These are all called columns. So I have a column 1, column 2. So he defines that column with a name called A, B, C, etc., etc. So this A represents the column that I have blocked. H represents the column that I have blocked. So when I create a data, I can create a data into any of these columns. Right? And you can see in the left hand side rows. These are all called rows. I have a row number 1, 2, 3. If you take the previous version of Excel 2007 and previous version to 2007, you can create only 64,000 plus rows. You cannot create more than 64,000 rows. Whereas from 2007 onwards, you don't have a limit to number of rows that you can create. I have not found the last row count that I can create. I can even create 2 lakh rows. More the rows that you create, the problem that can cause is, if I want to filter the row, I want to do some manipulations to the row, it becomes a problem in the Excel sheet. So generally what happens is, let us take an address book. We'll take an address book as our first sample or lab that we consider. I use this address book for various analysis in our subsequent topics as well. When I say address book, what are all the things that I want to put it? As name, then first name or last name or surname. I use the word surname. Right? Then I want address, and then I want city, I want state, I want country. I'm just keeping it as far as possible simple. So now I created a name, surname, address, city, state, country. Right? So these are all the columns that I have now. Now G, H, I, these columns doesn't have any values now. Even though, so since there is no values, generally Excel will ignore these columns. He will not worry about those columns. Right? So now first row I defined as column names. The column name that we all understand. So that is my first row. So then I am going into the name. I am actually defining the name. I am defining the name as Ulas. I am defining the name as Varadarajan. I am just giving the names which I feel I'll give it over here. Then I give it as Vinod. Again there are 2 Vinods, so I put 2 Vinods over here. I'll give a surname now. Right? So I'm just giving some of the names over here. Right? So now I have given the names and then I'll just put the address. I'll put some address, say street name, street and location. Say I'll go with that, street and location. Now you can see as I do the same activity, as I type the yes here, you can see the whatever is the equivalent to that, it appears over there. That is the simplicity. We call it as IntelliSense. So by default, if there is no duplicate, if you want to repeat the same content here, to make our entry faster, he comes up with this help. You want to do it, you can keep it. You want to give a different name, str1 and location 1, I am giving a different name now, then that is erased. So these are all default features of Excel sheet. It is nothing, doesn't require a new learning. So now if I put strre, then only the IntelliSense appears. It reflects that same name. If I put str1, you can see that location 1 is reflected over here. So now you can decide what you want. Within these two, I have to now type 4 letters. First letter is not sufficient. First 3 letters, I cannot get the uniqueness. Whenever I get the uniqueness, I get that in the IntelliSense. So I can now see I got the IntelliSense. I am typing that IntelliSense as well. str1, location 1. So city, now I'll put different cities now. So I say Bangalore, I say Chennai, I say Pune, right? I say here Cupertino, something. I'll just put some names, some city name here, right? So I'll put here Hyderabad. State, Karnataka. Pune, right? So I'll put it here as US. I'll put it here as Andhra. I don't know whether I can put it Andhra or Telangana, sorry. Now, country here, India, 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 USA, India. Just to differentiate between a state and country, I'm just changing here USA. Now, we have created a data. Very simple. So what I want to do with this data? So why I need to put this data in the Excel sheet? Now I want to know all the people who are in Karnataka, state level. I want to know all the people in Bangalore, that is city level. So like this, if I want to do some activity to the data that I have, then the best thing is managing it in the Excel sheet. Because I can always manage this in Word document as well. The difference between the Word document and this is, here it is column separated. Word document is not column separated. So I can manage it over here with whatever you want. I want to do first, I'll do the simple thing, sorting. I want to know, now sort country wise. I want to sort country wise the data. So how do I sort? One is which data you want to sort. In sorting, very important factor in sorting is the blocking of data. Blocking of data is very important when we do sorting. I can block this alone and then I can do a sorting. When I say sorting, it automatically means I am doing something related to data. That means I have to go to the menu data. Sorting belongs to the data, right? So I block this F, I say sort, right? You see there is a warning, right? The warning says Microsoft Excel found data next to your selection. Because I have selected F, there are data for E, D, C, B. Since you have not selected this data, it will not be sorted. Expand the selection or continue with the current selection. Now you are getting this warning. This warning, reading this warning is very important. If you don't read this warning and if you just click sort, you can see now only that data is sorted. Right? I'll say again, I'll do sort. Continue with the current selection because I don't want to expand the selection. I continue with the current selection. I click on sort. Please note that row number 5 is USA. Right? So I'm now column F, I'm trying to sort. when I'm trying to do a sorting, whether you want to do it with headers or you don't want to do it with headers, because Excel sheet doesn't know that row 1 having a header. If you want to treat that row 1 as a header, click on My Data as Header. Once I select that, you can see here sort by. You see that the selection, that F is not selected now. F1 is not selected. By default, he is not selecting it. And if I say OK, now you can see the USA has come down. It is now against row number 6. It is supposed to be against row number 5. This is the common mistake normal beginning people will generally do on sorting. This is a common mistake the people who are very new to the Excel sheet will do. So you have to be very, very careful when you are doing a sorting. Right? Now I want to sort the entire data. So block the data like this. You can block the data. Now I am including the header, I am blocking the data. I click on sort. I will redo it, don't worry. Now you want to sort by whom? My data has headers. You can see now the first row is not selected now because that is treated as a header. I click OK now. Now you can see the entire data is now sorted. Right? So this entire data is now so this if I again click on the sort, if I remove this my data has headers, please note the setting. My data has headers, if I uncheck, you can see now the row 1, F1 is also selected. F1, that is F1, E1, D1, all. A to F, the column 1 is sorted. If I check my data as headers, the first row is eliminated. First row is not considered for sorting. That is very important. Now what I did, I have sorted now, right, from as a based on content. Then I want to add one more sorting level. I like to add A, that is the name, into the sorting list. Country first. Second level of sorting is on name. So I want to now manage this sorting with the name as well. So how do I do that? So to do that, I can add level. So add level will give me sub-sorting. Sorting with one column first. Subsequent to that column, I am having another column to be selected. Here I choose, you can see the drop down. All the column that I have created is appearing here. And I can choose name. I want to, whether it is ascending or a descending. Right? So A to Z or Z to A. So A to Z, I say OK. Now you can see here A to Z. So U, VA, VE, VI. That is also been sorted. I like to undo this sorting. Control Z. Undo the sorting. Right? I can undo the sorting using Control Z. Undo. I have done some operation. I want to take back my operation. I can do undo. Control Z. So now this is my original data set. So I am just copying this data set now. How to copy? Block it. If I want to copy the entire row, block it like this. Left key, then bring down your mouse. Right? So left key, press the left key, bring down your mouse, you copy the entire content now. I paste it over here. Now you can see the same content is pasted over here. Very simple copy paste operation. Right? The same content I copied from there to here. Why I did it? I want to show you. I will add some more names onto this. Right? There is a insert. I say here Abdul I'm just adding some more names here. I'll add it in the last row. So I don't want the first row to be added. I like to add that in the last row. Abdul, right? Kalam. I like to add it over here. So I put the address here, some address, say str1, same thing I'll use. I'll say now Delhi, right? City Delhi, state Delhi, country India.